the statue, a representation of the Right Honorable Sir Eric Gary. He may very well be the all-time freedom fighter from Grenada. He is the person responsible for taking Grenada away from the colonials, away from the imperialists. He's the person with the first Prime Minister of Grenada, the person that got himself as a judge, for the Miss World contest, where we find the two blackest persons coming first and second, the most beautiful species on the earth. He acknowledged and recognized that. Hence, Grenada has the first Miss World in the person of Miss Jennifer Hostin. And then the follow-up was from South Africa. But Miss Jennifer Hostin reigned as Miss World and was judged in England. So here in Grenada at the Botanical Gardens, Tantine, Gary is honored. He's recognized for the great freedom fighter that he was, and he still is. He has always identified with his African culture, recognized his Africanism, and endorsed his Africanism in all splendor. So here we see the Right Honorable, Your Excellence, Eric Matthew Gary, hailing from Grenada. Now he's at the Botanical Gardens. Yes. And this is where Grenadians pay homage to a man of the soil, a man way beyond his time. You know, certain things that's happening in Grenada would never have happened in Gary's time. Gary will tell you straight, Grenada for Grenadians. We welcome you as a visitor, and never forget that. Never forget that. Grenadians are kind, they're loving, they're honest, they're special. Yet within that kindness, that honesty, there is an unwavering revolutionary spirit that arises whenever needs to be. So this is the Right Honorable, Your Excellence, my freedom fighter, Caribbean freedom fighter, Grenada's freedom fighter. You need to look into Sky Red. You need to look into the fact that the Imperials felt the need to bring a warship to Grenada to arrest Gary. They did arrest Gary, but not for too long. Not for too long. Because all I would say is that the sky was red. The sky was red. So here, Eric Matthew Gary in the Botanical Gardens. In the distance, the best view on the island is, I don't know if it's Her Majesty Prison or His Majesty Prison, but the prison is still up there. Grenada is not a republic. It's still under colonial rule. The Queen is the head of Grenada. And then you have the Prime Minister, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and the leader of the opposition, the Right Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell, another Mitchell. But they have to be grateful. They cannot be ungrateful. And they should pay homage to the man that paved the way for them to be called Prime Minister today and set the groundwork. In fact, set the standard for which politics, for good or bad, for politics in Grenada, we still have his brand of politics, still very much embedded in our elections. The politics of Eric Matthew Gary, a Caribbean freedom fighter that we should never, ever forget. And when his story is written, when the true story of Eric Matthew Gary is written, we would all have to recognize him as for his greatness, for his Africanness, for his leadership role in Grenada. If you would remember, the Botanical Garden was the place where it was the original site for the zoo. So we had monkeys, parrots, snakes. It was like a national park. Unfortunately, Grenada does not have a zoo anymore. Animals roam in its natural state, in its natural habitat, and most of the animals that exist today are indigenous to Grenada. But the Botanical Garden was the home of the Grenada National Zoo. So here we have it. My visit to Grenada could never have ended without a stop, without a visit. I would love to have gone to the birthplace of Eric Matthew Gary. However, a visit to the statue that pays homage to his contribution towards Grenada will have to surface for now until my next visit when I come and see. So here, Eric Matthew Gary resides. Thank you.